today I am here with my long-awaited Q&A video for you guys. And yeah, I'm very excited to get into this. I got a lot of questions to get through. Most of them are from Instagram. So yeah, and if you guys don't know how my Q&As work, I do them once a year. And I simply post across my different platforms saying that I'm going to be doing the Q&A video in the earlier parts of the year. And then once it finally gets here, I take all the questions that I've accumulated and answer them here in a Q&A video, because I'm still a baby channel and I'm still like very small when it comes to like followers and whatnot. So it takes a while for me to accumulate enough questions to actually make a full Q&A video with. Also, we're back in this spot here in my room. I rearranged my room last week because I didn't like the filming setup that I had before, so I rearranged my room again. It's different still. It's not like I put everything back to where it was before. It's very different and I really like it so far. So yeah, and you can kinda sorta see my Exit Eden flag back there. Kinda sorta. You can see Clemny's face a little bit maybe, I don't know. Last thing I want to mention before we get into this Q&A video, I did my makeup a little bit differently today. I did my foundation differently, and like I just applied it a different way than I'm used to doing. And also I didn't use any setting powder for my foundation either, so let's hope that my foundation looks good and holds up throughout this video, because I have never gone on without setting powder before. So let's hope this all works out and everything looks nice and whatnot. So, because I'm trying an experiment with not only my face but also this foundation. But anyways, let's get into the Q&A video because I got a lot of stuff to get through. So yeah. Alright, so the first question that I have is from YouTube, and it's the only question that I have from YouTube. And it is from Clover O'Shields, and they ask, how do you keep your hair healthy from all the bleaching and dye? My hair has definitely seen better days. I mean, it is still rather healthy, but it has been better. It's been a lot better than how it is right now, but yeah. But I do a lot of different things to keep my hair healthy. First of all, I use a protein rebuilder. You can get it at Sally's. It's by Ion. It's pretty good. I only use it I'd say about maybe once a month or so. I don't use it that often because it's actually not good for your hair to use like really intense protein treatments like the Ion protein rebuilder very often, because it can actually dry out your hair. So, and also that protein rebuilder winds up leaving like a very weird texture on my hair. So I don't like to use it that often because of that as well, because it just makes my hair feel weird. And then a few months ago, I started trying out keratin infused conditioners to help out with the porosity of my hair, because when you have pre-lightened hair, your hair becomes porous, because what happens is that you destroy like protein bonds in your hair when you bleach your hair, and that's what causes your hair to go blonde, is because you're destroying proteins. And yeah, and with doing that, your hair can become very porous, and when your hair becomes porous, it doesn't retain color very well. That's why when you wash your hair, if you've colored your hair, that's why your color might fade out very quickly in certain areas, whereas in other parts it'll stay nice and vibrant. It's because the porosity of your hair is inconsistent. With using a keratin conditioner, it's going to help like fix the porosity a little bit. It's not going to work miracles for you, but it's definitely going to help out a little bit, and that's helped me out a decent amount. It's really nice. The one that I've been using is by Hask. It's just like a random brand that I found at Walmart one day, because I was originally going to get the one that OGX has, but I saw this one by Hask and it's also cruelty free, so I decided to give it a try. With my personal preferences, it's not my favorite conditioner for like the length of my hair, but for being a keratin treatment, it's actually really nice. Also, I don't wash my hair very often. Like today, I'm on second day hair with my hair today, and I won't be washing it till tomorrow. So there's definitely that. I always make sure to get regular trims as well, like when I get my ends trimmed, which I'm actually am about due for another one. Sometime in September, I'll be getting my ends trimmed, so there's that. And I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I get my ends trimmed about every 3 months. That's how I like to go about doing it, because that's just like what works best for me. Like it gets rid of like any dead ends and like very split ends, and also my hair can get kind of stringy because of all the work that I do with it, with like heat styling and whatnot, and brushing it when it's curly. That's another thing. I don't brush my hair that often when it's in its natural state, which my hair is naturally curly. I don't brush it very often. Like I'll brush it immediately after I get out of the shower from washing it, and then if I don't straighten my hair and just leave it curly, I won't brush it out till right before I go to wash my hair again, and like on the second or third day. And also when it comes to heat styling, use heat protectants, and always make sure to like use like a hydrating and nourishing conditioner. That's what I personally use and what works best for me. And when you use a shampoo, use one that's more so designed for, like, you can use ones that are designed for color treated hair, or you can just use ones that are very gentle, like they're not super stripping. So like stay away from like Head and Shoulders, Balsam Blue, like clarifying and anti-dandruff shampoos, stay away from them. And just go with something that's a bit gentler. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I do to like keep my hair healthy and what I do to take care of it. Another thing is with like dyeing, first of all, this black that's in my hair, I haven't touched this in like nearly 2 years. I haven't put black in my hair in like 2 years. Actually, no, that's a lie. I put black in my bangs a little bit, but it's gone. Like, I think like with doing bleach pads, I think I wound up stripping that bit of black out, or maybe it just, that hair there just like simply broke off. I don't know, but it's no longer there. But yeah, and then like me, I haven't done like a bleach bath on my hair in a very long time. And then like with the dyes, like the color dyes that I use in my hair, they're all vegetable based dyes, so they're not damaging to the hair whatsoever. There's a lot of things that I do to keep my hair healthy and in shape with all the shit that I've put it through and everything, so yeah. Now I'm gonna move on to the few questions that I got from Facebook, and the first question that I have is from my friend Samantha, and she asked, what is your favorite makeup brand right now? Ooh, probably still NYX. I really love NYX products, so definitely them. And also, like, even though I only have one product by them, I really like Makeup Revolution eyeshadows, or at least the Ultra Mattes palette that I have. I really, really love that eyeshadow palette. It's really great. Claire asked, if you can spread a rumor about yourself, what would it be? I really don't know. I'm not like the gossipy kind of type. Like, I mean, I like talking about people's drama, and like, well, I say talking about people's drama and like peering in on people's drama and whatnot, but I don't really like rumors and whatnot. It's just like, rumors don't do anything for me, so I don't think I would spread a rumor about myself. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything. I mean, if there was like a rumor that I would spread, it would probably be something like cheesy and stupid anyway, so I mean, I don't know. And the last question that I got from Facebook is from Jacob, and he asked, top 3 favorite Star Wars characters and why? Oh, this is so difficult. I'm a huge Star Wars buff, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I'm super excited for The Last Jedi, as well as Rebels Season 4. I cannot wait. Wait for season 4. I'm so excited. In fact, I think it's supposed to be starting up soon, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I haven't watched TV in a very, very long time. How about this? I'll do like humanoidal kind of characters and like organic characters, and then I'll do droids. How about that? 3 organics and 3 droids. Okay, so I'll start out with the droids first. First of all, I love BB-8. BB-8 is like, for some reason I think BB-8 is very much like myself, because he's very adorable and nobody really takes him that serious, but he's also not afraid to be a badass. So I love BB-8. I also love Chopper from Rebels. He is like the sassiest, shadiest, and just like the most done droid I have ever seen within the Star Wars universe. I have never seen a droid that is just more fed up with everybody than Chopper. Like, it is ridiculous how fed up he is with everything. And like, he's just so funny and crazy and nuts. And I love how old he sounds and looks. I know that's a bit odd to say, but I really like how vintage he looks like. And then lastly, K2SO from Rogue One. Oh my god, K2SO is bae. I love him so much. I love how much of an asshole he is. And he's the biggest asshole of a droid ever. I fucking love it. And if you've never seen Rogue One, it's on Netflix. Watch it. It is amazing. It's so good. It's such a good movie. It's so good. I saw it in theaters back in December, and when it came out on Netflix, I had to watch it immediately because it's such a good movie. It's so good. And K2SO, he is just everything. I love him. He's amazing. For organic characters, Ahsoka Tano. If you didn't watch Clone Wars or Rebels, you don't know who she is because she's only present in those franchises. But, spoiler alert, they did allude to her in Rogue One for one, like, moment. They alluded to her for one moment. We all know that in Rebels, Ahsoka dies. But there's an Easter egg in Rogue One that's happens instantly. Like, I missed it the first time that I watched it, but when I watched it again recently, I caught on to it. And that is Bail Organa alludes to Ahsoka's character. But it's done in such a way that it's just like, wait, what? Like, you don't really catch on at first. And Rogue One takes place after what happens in Rebels. And so Bail Organa alludes to Ahsoka's existence. And Rogue One takes place after Rebels. So that means that Ahsoka is still alive. That is my theory. That is my theory. Anyways, let's get back to talking about why I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka, she's just such a badass and she's wonderful, and I love the fact that they brought her back in Rebels because in Clone Wars, she was just such an amazing character, and then when she left in, I think it was season 4 or season 5, she left right at the end. But it was weird not having her there, and I'm very glad that they brought her back in Rebels, and like just seeing how much she's grown and like matured, and just seeing how much she's grown as a Force user, because she's no longer a Jedi. No. Remember, she left the Order. So it's wonderful to see like what she's doing and all, and I just really love her character, and I love the fact that she's a dual wielder. I love dual wielders, and the fact that she's all about agility and whatnot, I love it. And just, I love her character. She's such a solid character. Next up, I guess I'd have to say Asajj Ventress. I don't know why, I just really like her. There's something about her that I'm just in love with, and it's so weird because I'm not usually the type that would actually gravitate towards the Sith characters, because even though they're good characters and like they're designed very well, I'm not really drawn to them because a lot of them are just crazy and insane and whatnot. But Ventress, they actually add on to her story a lot in Clone Wars, and it's amazing to see her journey from being a Sith and then being betrayed by her master, and then she becomes a bounty hunter and becomes neutral. So it's like, it's very interesting like seeing her progression and actually learning about her and everything. And I wish we could get like a Star Wars movie, like a live action Star Wars film where she's actually present in it, because I love her character so much. Same thing goes for Ahsoka, but yeah, I really want to see like a live action Star Wars film with Ventress in it, because her character is so interesting. God, this is difficult because there are so many other characters that I like, but it's just like Ahsoka and Ventress are like my ultimate favorites. Every other one that I really like, I don't have like as deep of a connection with. Part of me wants to say Rey, but then another part of me wants to say Sabine from Rebels. Another part of me wants to say Chewbacca because I like his personality. He's got a very interesting personality. I really like that about him. But I can't really think of like another like solid character that I absolutely am obsessed with and in love with. I'm just gonna leave it at them because I mean I've already talked about 5 characters already, so yeah. Alright, so now let's move on to Tumblr, and I got 2 sets of questions from Tumblr. And the first one is from Astrid Aesthetic, and she asks, does it ever get tiring being so good looking? I don't know. I really don't know. But then their second question is, what's the best purple hair dye you've ever used? I've tried so many and they never stick with my hair. Purple is definitely like an irritating color to work with and to get it to stay in your hair. The only purple that I've ever had that actually stayed in my hair for a while, I think is probably the amplified formula for Man in Panic's Ultraviolet. But the thing is though is that the amplified formula for Ultraviolet is very different from the original regular formula for Ultraviolet, because the regular formula is a bit warmer and is more purple, but the amplified formula is very cool toned. Like, I'll try to put up some like pictures of comparisons to show you guys the differences between the two. And the ultimate difference between the two is that the amplified formula is very multi-dimensional, and in the sense that due to the fact that it's got some blue into it, it actually can look multiple different kinds of colors and different lightings, because in some lightings it can look like a nice dark purple, other lightings it can look a periwinkle blue, and then others it's just like this really intense purple. Whereas the regular formula is just like purple. From what I remember, the amplified formula does last a bit longer though. From what I remember, I haven't had it in my hair, like straight up it on its own in my hair in a long time, because I generally use the amplified formula for doing toners or whenever I want to do like silvery gray hair, or if I just need to tone my hair in general. So yeah. So definitely look into the amplified formula for Ultraviolet. I think you can get the amplified Man in Panic colors at Hot Topic, I believe. I'm pretty sure you can get them at Hot Topic. And then the next question that I have on Tumblr, I also got a similar question from someone on Instagram, so I'll have both of those people here up on the screen, because after this one I'm going to be moving on to my Instagram questions. It might be the same person, I don't know, but on Tumblr it is Neon Midnight 123, and then on Instagram it is, let me find them, Abigail Sharples. And both of these accounts ask, is Gothic metal still goth? For those of you who don't know, I used to identify within the Gothic subculture. I no longer do, but I'm still very much alternative. But is Gothic metal still goth? Well, first of all, goth music has to have some sort of connection to trad goth music, so like new wave and dark wave. So it has to have some sort of connection to where goth music originated from. So like bands like Susie and the Banshees, The Cure, Bauhaus, The Smiths, Depeche Mode, bands like them. If a gothic metal band or a gothic rock band takes influence, and a lot of influence from those bands, then that can ultimately make them into a gothic metal band. And there are indeed some like rock and metal bands that have taken a lot of inspiration and influence from those original goth bands and tied them into their music, but they have a metal sound to them. And these are going to be bands like Lahania, Brain Dance, Lacrimosa, and Azrai. So, and there's probably some others, but those are the 4 that immediately come to mind for me personally. And those bands take a lot of influence from those trad goth bands, and is ultimately what makes them a gothic metal band. But there is also another form of gothic metal, and that style of gothic metal is more so influenced by gothic literature. So, and Gothic literature is its own separate thing. It's not the Gothic subculture. It's its own thing. Because Gothic literature originated way before the Gothic subculture ever came about. So, a lot of Gothic metal bands and Gothic rock bands take influence from Gothic literature. So, like, the lyrics can be heavily influenced by Gothic literature, or the sound, like the instrumentals, can be influenced by Gothic music, or things that you would hear in, like, say, like a Gothic film, or like a Gothic themed show. So, like, be like something that you would hear out of, like, say, like Penny Dreadful, or, what's that one movie, Crimson Peak, I think is what it's called. I still haven't seen it yet. I really want to, though. Books like Dracula, Frankenstein, Dorian Gray, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and like stories like that definitely be the influences to a lot of these Gothic metal bands. And so you really got to pay attention to like the lyrics and the sounds and everything, because there's difference between Gothic art and the Gothic subculture, and that's something that you have to understand. There's a difference between both. So Gothic metal can indeed be goth, but it can also be its own separate thing, its own separate thing. It's not like at all tied with the Gothic subculture at all. Like when it comes to bands that are like influenced by like Gothic literature and whatnot, these would be bands like Tristania, Serenia, Draconian, Swallow the Sun, The Foreshadowing. I want to give at least one more example. Die Shade, Theater of Tragedy, bands like them. So those would be bands that take a lot of inspiration from like Gothic literature and just Gothic art in general. Alright, so now let's move on into the Instagram question. I'm going to continue on with Abigail Sharples because she's got a lot of questions, so I'm going to go ahead and get through all of them first. And first one that I have here is, who or what inspires you? I have so many inspirations. If you want to know about my fashion inspirations, I did a series over on my blog talking about my fashion icons, so I'll be sure to link that down in the description box below if you want to learn about them. I get inspiration from so many different places, like music, fashion, and movies, and TV shows, books, anime. Like, I get inspiration from a lot of different places, so it's really hard to pinpoint and say like where I get all my inspiration from, because it comes from so many different places. Like, even like the dark corners of my mind, I get inspiration from at times. See, then they ask, which bands do you class as Gothic metal? I just mentioned that earlier. Is Gothic metal the same as Gothic rock? It all depends. It all depends, really, like if the band considers themselves to be a Gothic metal band or not. So that's all up to the original artist on that one. What bands do you like? I like so many. Check out my current music obsession series here on my channel, which I am going to be bringing back. I'm going to be filming the first part of it sometime next month. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be happening sometime next month. And you can also check out my current music obsession series over on my blog. I'll be sure to link to the tag down in the description box below so you can check that out. So you can just like check out what all music I like, because I could be here for a very long time if I talk about the music that I like here. And lastly, she asks, where do you shop? I shop at a lot of different places, but recently I've been really enjoying like Amazon and eBay. Those have been like my go-to places for shopping in the recent years, for clothing, that is. When it comes to makeup, I really love Ulta, and I also like Sephora, but Sephora's too fucking expensive. And I also go to Sally's to get like stuff for my hair. And there are other places that I like shopping at as well. It's just like, they're just like obscure. I don't want to say obscure, but like kind of like typical places, like say like Kohl's, Walmart, Route 21, Hot Topic. Yes, I do enjoy Hot Topic, but I stick with online for them though. Like Spencer's. So yeah, it's just a lot of different places. I don't really like stick with just like a few kinds of places. And also with me being alternative, I don't like just like exclude myself to alternative shops. I only shop at alternative shops. No, I'm not that way at all. Like, I'll shop anywhere. If I find something that I like at a place, I'm gonna more than likely get it. So yeah, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't matter if it's from an alternative themed shop or not. So that's all that I got from her. So now let's move on to the next set of questions that I got from Mrs. Monster Vlogs. And she asks, have you got a favorite YouTuber? I don't have one singular YouTuber. I really love Vintage or Tacky. I've been watching her videos for so many years now. Same goes for Goldie Starling. I think out of all the YouTubers that I watch presently, Angie is probably the one that I've been watching the longest, because I got into her videos I think in 2011, I think was when I started watching her videos. Might have been 2011 or 2012, somewhere in there. And then I started watching Cora, Vintage or Tacky shortly after her. So yeah, and I still watch them to this day. They're like two of my favorites. I like Toxic Tears, Riri Phillips, Metal Ass Gaming, and Jake Monroe, Melanie Murphy. I think that's about it. I think those are all my favorite YouTube channels, I think. Would you be a YouTuber as a job? No. Especially with how things are now here on YouTube with like the apocalypse and like restricted mode and all that stuff. Just no. No. I would not pursue YouTube as a job. If I could monetize my videos at some point, maybe I'll do that, but I would never use it as like a job. Their last question is, who in the world makes you smile? You have a gorgeous smile. I love seeing it. Thank you. A lot of people make me smile. Like some of the people that I follow on Twitter and like Instagram and YouTube and whatnot, and then like my friends and family. So yeah, just a bunch of people. Next up, I have two questions from Scarlett Rose Parks, and first one is, do you have a job outside of YouTube? Not yet. I do plan on applying for jobs though, because I got my driver's license about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, so now I just need to start applying for jobs. And yeah, because I've been waiting on getting used to like driving on my own and like driving on the interstate on my own before I start applying, so that way I can be okay with driving by myself and whatnot. So yeah, which I'm used to now, so I'm going to be applying for jobs shortly. As of right now, I don't have a job outside of YouTube, but YouTube isn't my job either, so yeah. And their second question is, what tips do you have for alternative people who are looking for a job or applying? First things first, don't be too attached to the idea of getting a job at a place where they're very open to like people dressing the way that they want to and expressing themselves alternatively. Be okay with the idea of not working in that kind of a place, because if you limit yourself to working in that kind of environment, you're not going to get far. So you have to be okay with the idea of having to like change or alter your appearance for work. That is the ultimate thing that I have to say. So yeah, but for me, like, I'm going to start out with applying at places that will be like open to me being alternative and different and whatnot. And then after that, if I haven't scored anything, then I'll start branching out to places that might be a little bit more conservative when it comes to like appearances and whatnot. So yeah, I don't want to have to do that, because it's just like I like having colorful hair, but if I have to make the sacrifice and do that, I will have to do it. So you have to like put your own security ahead of your aesthetics and your appearance. I know it sucks, but it's the world we live in, so You have to adapt and grow and survive. But I mean, if you can get around it and get away with it and everything, that's amazing. And that's the direction that I want to be able to go in. But if I can't, I am still very open to the ideas of altering my appearance slightly. If a job is going to make me like cut my hair, I'm not going to do it. That is one thing I will not do. I will not cut my hair. No. I will not cut my hair. That is the one thing I will not do. I will not cut my hair, and I won't like completely take my piercing out. Those are my only requests. Do not make me cut my hair, and do not make me permanently take this guy out. I'll hide it and put a retainer in, but I won't permanently take it out. Next set of questions that I have are from Arachnideer, and he asks, what's your favorite candy or dessert? Ooh, this is really tricky because first of all, I'm not the biggest candy person. I don't eat candy very often. But dessert, I really like ice cream. I really, really enjoy ice cream. I really do. Oh, favorite candy? Just remembered it. My favorite candy is cotton candy. And their second question is, what's your proudest moment? I really don't know. I really don't know. As of right now, I think my proudest moment is probably getting my driver's license. I think that's probably it for me right now. Next question I have is Maxi Makeup, and they ask, are you gay? And they also say that they like my look in videos. Thank you. Am I gay? No. But I'm also not straight. So yeah. Next question is from Monique Bloomer, and she asks, what's your favorite hair color? This guy right here. This pink. This, like, so far this is like my favorite hair color. I also really enjoy like greens, like bright greens, and like deep bright blues. So yeah, and I also really like silver. Rock Metal Mayhem asks, who are your favorite actors or actresses? Oh, this is really complicated. Because there are a lot of great people out there, but there are also a lot of mediocre people out there. My two favorite actors are probably Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds. I really love both of them because they're just really, really great. And I love how Ryan Reynolds has been going in like a more like campy comedy direction in a lot of his films as of late. I really like that, and yeah, I really like his stuff, and I really like his personality too. He's got an amazing personality, an amazing sense of humor, and I just love it. Like, follow him on Twitter. Favorite actresses? I really like Winona Ryder. I really, really like Winona Ryder. And I also really like Rose McGowan. So I probably say them too. We got two questions from Death Metal Lullaby, but before I get into those, she says that she thinks that I'm awesome, so thank you, girl. And the two questions that she asked, first one is, well, the first one that I'm going to answer is, who are some of the people who influence your style? There's so many of them. Like I mentioned earlier, check out my blog post on my fashion icons. There's a new person though, so I'll go ahead and talk about them real quick. And that is a guy that I've been following on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter for a very long time. And that guy is Tyler. I'll put up like his handle so you guys can go follow him. He's like low-key becoming a fashion icon of mine because he has like this very like grungy kind of style to him. And I'm liking grungy kind of fashion nowadays. And so it's just like, I've been like looking at his outfits and I'm like, going online and finding similar things online and being like adding them to wish lists and everything. So it's just like, I like this outfit, I want to wear something similar to this, let me do this. So I've been taking some inspiration from him, so he's low-key becoming a new fashion icon of mine, so definitely go follow him. He's a really cool dude, and he's adorable, and he's got nice tattoos, and he's also got a nice butt. But my ultimate fashion icon though is Charlotte LaSalza Delane. She's my ultimate fashion icon for so many different reasons. Like, first of all, her fashion tastes expand so wide. Her taste in fashion is insane because she doesn't just like stick with one particular style. Plays around with so many different styles and looks, and it's not even just with fashion, but even with makeup. She wears like different kinds of makeup looks as well. And I just take a lot of inspiration from her and her fashion and whatnot, because she'll do looks that are very gothy and new goth and street style and straight and grungy and punk and chicy deaky and like very loungy and like comfort chic, and then like 80s rock star, just 80s in general, and it's just her fashion. I just love her fashion so much. And also she's like the main inspiration as to why I got my very first side cut, like over on this side. Like for those of you who are new here, I have both of my sides completely shaved off now, but when I first got like my first basic side cut, she was the person that like really like heavily influenced me to get it done. And I also used a picture of her as a reference photo when I went to get it done. So yeah, so definitely her. She's like my biggest fashion icon. If I'm up a little bit higher now, it's because I had put a pillow down for me to sit on because my butt's getting sore. Because I've been filming for about an hour almost. So yeah. Anyways, Death Metal Lullaby. Second question is top 10 favorite bands. This is so difficult. This is so difficult. I can name my top 2 favorite bands, and those are Epica being number 1 and Delane being number 2. I really love both of those bands a lot, and I'd love to be able to go see Epica at the Masquerade later this month, but more than likely it won't happen. And if it doesn't happen, that's perfectly fine. There'll be other tours that I can go to. And then Delane, I'm hoping I can see them when they come to Atlanta. I think it's in May when they come with Camelot and Battle Beast. I hope I can see them live again. It'll be my 3rd time seeing them live, and I really hope I can see them again and actually get a picture with Charlotte this time. Some other bands that I really like, that are like top tier favorites. Let's see, I really like Xandria. I really like them. They've definitely have grown and evolved into just this amazing epic band, and I hope I can see and possibly even meet them in October when they come here. I'm super excited for that tour. I hope I can go, and I really do, because I'd love to see them live again. And I would also love to be able to meet Deanna Van Hairsbergen. It would be so amazing to be able to meet her, and just, she's so amazing. She's such an amazing singer and such an amazing performer, and just, yeah, I love her. I love her a lot. Another favorite band of mine would be The Hard Kiss. They're a progressive pop group from Ukraine. Absolutely love their stuff. Their new album, Perfection Is a Lie, is amazing. It's so good. It's more rock than pop. So they're definitely evolving into more of like a progressive rock band, and it's really cool. It's a really cool direction that they're going in, and I just really love their music, and I really love that album. It's so good. I really love Unexpect. They're an avant-garde metal band. It's sad that they're no longer together, but I really enjoy their music and just how chaotic and weird their music can get at times, and just how absurd their lyrics are at times. Like, one of my favorite songs by them is called Orange Vigilantes, and it's about sentient pumpkins that are set out on enslaving humanity and taking over the world. Also really enjoy Camelot. I hope I can see them live again. Like I mentioned, they're going to be touring with Delane. They're headlining, so it actually be kind of weird also with that tour, because the very first concert that I went to was to see Camelot for the Silverthorne North American tour, and Delane, they were one of the opening acts. So it'd be very interesting, like, because it's almost like a complete repeat of that show. The only difference is that the opening act is different. I also really love Ruins of Elysium. They're a symphonic metal band that's fronted by Drake Christensen, and he is a gorgeous tenor. Like, his voice is so lovely. I love his voice. It's amazing. It's a really cool guy, and there's not a lot of LGBT representation, not only within the metal industry, but especially the symphonic metal scene. And yeah, he's definitely putting that representation out there with their music, and I absolutely love it. And their new album, Seeds of Chaos and Serenity, it's so gorgeous. It's so epic and amazing. It's wonderful. Definitely go check it out. I really like FKA Twigs. I really, really love her music. Her music is just really great to chill to and whatnot. Same goes for Yuzen. I really like Yuzen as well. And then Tristania. I've been on like a huge Tristania kick lately, so they're up there. Oh, the other one that popped out of my head, Exit Eden. I am loving Exit Eden so much. Rhapsodies in Black is such an amazing and beautiful and gorgeous and epic album. It is amazing. It's so good. I really love Draconian and Trees of Eternity. I really like them as well. I think that's 10. If it's not, I'm just gonna throw one other one out there just for good measure, and that is Diabolus and Musica. I really, really like them. Their music is just so good. It's wonderful. So I got a few questions from KDXD, and the first one is favorite makeup to use. I really love eyeshadow, and I also really love lipstick and highlighter. And then, who is your favorite celebrity for fashion and being iconic? I don't really pay attention to celebrity fashion all that often. It's just not my type of thing. I don't really keep up with a lot of celebrities, so I'm just gonna say Charlotte Wessels. So, yeah, I know she's not a celebrity, but she's the closest thing to a celebrity, so yeah. Lastly, what's your favorite boy band? I really don't know. I've never really been able to get into boy bands that much. I know of like a few songs from NSYNC, or at least I think I know a few songs from NSYNC, and I know of a few songs from Backstreet Boys. That's about it. Now, if we could get like a male version of Exit Eden, like dramatic symphonic metal cover boy band type situation, that would be amazing. That would be wonderful. And if that doesn't happen, I will make it happen. I will like find people who want to like collaborate and make it a thing, and we will make it a thing. Like, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. It really does. These next few questions are from Akimortis, and they are all Star Wars related. And it's a whole slew of questions, but they all go together into one kind of like response type thing, so I'm gonna read them all out. And they are, what kind of lightsaber would you have if they were real? Double-sided, single, dual-wield, and how would you design the hilt, and which color for the crystal would you choose? Ooh, okay. I'd probably more than likely be a dual-wield, just simply because, like, one, I'm very much into, like, when it comes to, like, characters and whatnot that I'm attracted to, and, like, if I could, like, design, like, an RPG character that is very much me type situation, it would be very like focused on agility and speed. So like the lightsabers would be very lightweight and small, and I would be in dual wield because I like the idea of like how Ahsoka did in Clone Wars, where she had like the one regular size lightsaber and then she had like the smaller one that she also used. I really like that idea, but I'd want mine to be the same length, but be like short in length though, because I more so am also attracted to like long range kind of characters as well, so I would probably be like somewhere off to the side and maybe have like a pistol on me and just use that, and then like for close combat bring out the lightsabers. And then the hilt, they'd be probably rather thin and simple and plain Jane and probably black. Something like simple and basic and cheeky-deaky, which would very much reflect myself, because it's like, when it comes to like accessorizing and whatnot, I like to be very simple. And then for the color of the crystal, I really don't know. Part of me wants to say pink, but I also really like that idea of having white, because I'm not sure if it was just like a very, very pale blue, but I think Ahsoka's lightsabers and Rebels were white. And if they were white, I would be like, yeah, I need a white crystal for my lightsabers. But if not, then I'll settle for pink. Universal Death Squad asks, what's your all-time favorite makeup product? Oh, probably the NYX lip lingeries. I really like them, so I'm gonna go with them. Adam85 asks, have you thought about getting more piercings? If so, where would they be? Oh yeah, I want so many other piercings. I think I counted like there's 21 other piercings that I want to get. I know, very excessive. I'm just gonna like go through like a quick run through of all I want. In this ear here, I'll just demonstrate on this ear since it's exposed. I want a forward helix, upward helix, and a regular helix here, but only on this ear. I want my lobes, and I've recently started thinking about possibly getting a conch on this ear and maybe a trace on this ear. Maybe, I'm not sure. Those are ones that I've been playing around with, but I do know I want to at least have this lobe done. My bridge, septum, nostril, medusa, my tongue. I want to get cheek dermals, not cheek piercings, but cheek dermals, because cheek piercings, they reject very easily, and also a lot of times they don't even fully heal. So, but cheek dermals, they tend to heal very quickly and nicely, and yeah. So I'd probably go with just cheek dermals. I also recently started thinking about getting a dermal in the ditch of my collarbone. And then I also really want to get both my nips done and my belly button and possibly some other stuff as well. But for right now, those are the main ones that I'm wanting to get. And the last question that I have from Instagram and the last question that I have in this Q&A is from Effortless Smile, and they ask, do you listen to sludge music? And then they have two options, like recommendations, Nuth Garush and Thou. I'd never heard of these two bands prior to this, and I checked them out. Nuth Garush, not the biggest fan, it's just, I'm not the biggest fan of the singer, like, not my type, but I do enjoy Thou. That was pretty good. But like, getting back to their question, do I listen to sludge? I listen to a few sludge bands. It's a genre that I'm getting into. I haven't really like gotten too deep into it, but the few bands that I've heard, I really enjoy. Like, I think as of right now, my favorite sludge bands have to be Obscure Sphinx. They lean more on the post-metal side, but they are very sludgy. And I also really like the White Swan, which is a project that Mercedes Lander of Kitty's drummer, she created the White Swan, and they're a sludge band, and she sings in the project. Mercedes, she has like this really nice voice and very much suits like the vibe of the music because it's very psychedelic sludge, and I really like it. And their latest EP, The White, it's really good. I really enjoy it. So yeah, and I hope I can see them live one day because their music is just so good. It's so good. Like I mentioned before, I'm not really that familiar with sludge. It's definitely something that I am just like starting to dabble into, whatnot. It's definitely a side of the metal scene that I'm wanting to explore. So if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. And that is it that I have for this Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's super duper long. Sorry about that, but I had a lot of questions to get through. So yeah, and I tried to get through them as quickly as possible. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video, but we'll see about that. I hope you guys enjoyed like learning these things about me. I really enjoy doing Q&As because I like to interact with you guys, and also it's a way for me to like open up and let you guys know a little bit more about myself and who I am as an individual. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up because that'll help me out a lot. All my links are down in the description box below, and until I see you guys in my next video, whenever the hell that may be, goodbye.